for seniors. My mom's on it, and she depends on it. You know, I'm dedicated to making that a much, you know, to making it a stronger entity. But Medicare Advantage, what you're talking about, is the part of Medicare that works better than anything else right now. But it gives people some choice, and I think that's what the current administration, the current Congress doesn't like. So if they're going to cut Medicare anywhere, they're going to cut the part that by my estimation, works. Of course, seniors like it. Of course, if seniors like that, they're going to lose that, or going to lose a significant portion of that. And they're using that to fund non-senior portions of their growing entitlement health care bill. Yeah. So, to me, it's a travesty.
And we have no choice.
Yeah, no choice. Exactly. It's the complete opposite of what they said.
Right.
Which isn't the only time that's happened. Yeah.
Insurance.
Right. Right. No, you're rocking a hard place. Rocking a hard place, unless you elect a Republican Congress. So let me tell you.
So what can we do to elect you?
Well, thank you. You're here tonight. That's a great question. What you can do to help elect me is this. We're in the, John, how many days do we have left till ballots drop? Well, and then ballots are 22?
Yeah.
22 days. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, 22 days you're going to have a ballot in your mailbox, okay? Don't wait till that gets here. Put up a sign. Call some neighbors. Please go to the Victory office. Do you know the address?
495 State Street. 495
State Street is a Republican Victory office where you can go and just spend an hour. What's that?
Suite 350.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Annie Howery.
Exactly. Go there, make some phone calls. This election, I mean, I'm here to tell you that the anger that folks that believe in those American values that I tried to articulate earlier, there's a lot of anger out there because people they don't like the course we're on, and they're afraid that the America we love is vulnerable right now. Turn that anger into resolve. That's what I'm saying. Be a happy warrior. Turn that anger into resolve and use that resolve to make those calls. If you're able, knock on those doors. There are walks going on every single weekend, in fact more than every single weekend, with multiple candidates. With our campaign, with state legislative campaigns, with the campaign for governor's race. Find a way to make a difference because this year, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, that's why you're here. This year matters. This is the most important election of our lifetime. And we've got, but I'll tell you what, maybe I should close on this. Fred's heard this again. Fred has heard me speak way too many times. He can give my speech. In fact, he should be my surrogate speaker. One of the greatest speeches I've ever heard, it's a great way to close and answer the question. One of the greatest speeches I ever heard was, of course, by Ronald Reagan, but for all the great speeches he gave, I think the best speech he ever gave was actually long before he was president. He gave it in 1964, and he said this. He was talking about this battle between, bigger government and more power government versus us as individuals having the freedom and being empowered. He said, if we lose, call it a war even, he said, if we lose that war, well, how do I say this? At the beginning, he said, we are at war with the greatest enemy known to man in this long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said that if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you on September 23rd, 2010, those of us in this room, you and I, are the ones with the most to lose. Kevin, he doesn't know it, but he's one of the ones with the most to lose. Your kids, my children, my two daughters, your kids, your grandkids if you have them, we are the ones with the most to lose. They are all the ones with the most to lose if we don't get it right. 2010 is our opportunity. We have to get it right in 2010 because if we don't get it right, I don't know when we get it right. So please, if you have any spare time, make those calls, knock on those doors, write the check. I mean, this is a resource. I mean, I'll say it for me, but I'll say it for the other Republican candidates as well. Republicans used to have more money than Democrats. Now we have much less, okay? But if you can write a check for $5 or $25 or $50, thank you. We need it. My website's joinscott.com. And I know I'm speaking for Jackie Winters and Kevin Cameron and Chris Dudley as well and Jim Huffman. So if you can do it, we need it. This is the year. It's never been more important, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe thank you so much. I get to pick the winner.
We have 2 books and Stadium Throw is a choice of which prize to buy.
I'm going to read the last 4. Yeah. Does everybody have their last 3? Everybody have their ticket? That has a ticket? Okay, the last 3 are 017. Is that you? Congrats!
You get your choice.
Back in there. Okay. Thank you, everybody, so much.
Is the question time over?
I think so. Well,
I want to take one more.
Okay, we'll do one more, yeah.
Actually, mine isn't so much of a question as all the discussion so far was excellent, but I kind of wanted to just tell you something that's from my history, which I grew up in Congo, and the United States always sent money to the Congo, and the leader of the Congo, who was basically a dictator, he always ran elections every 7 years to prove he was a democracy.
Right.
But his name was the only one on the
And he won with
ballot.
98% of the vote every 7 years, right?
Yeah, his name was the only one on there. And he basically lived like Barack Obama is doing, flitting here and there in his jets and living the high life, and using the money to tear the tribes apart in Congo and create favoritism.
Right.
Kind of like the Democrats are doing right now, trying to create, they're using money and hard language to create, try to create a class that's the racists, the bigots, the whatevers, and he did that in Congo, and he did it with the money that we gave him. So it's always been, I've always wanted to talk to some congressperson and say, when you give money to countries, other countries, that money is used by the leaders to create dictatorships and disorder in their countries. And it's terrible, the money that we send overseas, thinking that it's charitable.
Yeah.
Or like they're just giving so much money to so many countries, and it is not used well.
And you know what, I've done a little bit of study on it, not to get caught, to belabor this, but you know there's two issues there. First of all, we used to do that with a Cold War sort of mentality. I mean, we used to do a calculation that, these people were bad, but it'd be worse if it was, Soviet dominated. So that was some of the mindset there. Of course, we're past that. But something else, and it actually does it is relevant to today. There was a mindset, there always has been a mindset, especially from the government, whether we're treating issues of economic, problems in America or problems of economic problems outside of America. We've always done so with an attempt to alleviate poverty. So poverty is here, so we're going to put money in there to alleviate poverty. That's not how you alleviate poverty. You alleviate poverty by bringing prosperity.
Yeah.
You need to bring the path and the empowerment for prosperity. Exactly. That holds as true in Congo or anywhere in the world as it does in the United States of America.
Yes.
So,
Teach people.
Take that knowledge with you.
Absolutely. So, yes, you want to do one more? Okay, do one more. And this has to be the last one. Yeah. No, Dan says no.
Just a comment. It's
Okay.
just like the stimulus plan, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, we're just going to rain it down, and you see it's a temporary thing. It clearly hasn't worked, but it hasn't created an environment where people want to create jobs. I mean, it's created. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There's so many questions and just fear about what's next, and unknowing that's had the opposite effect. So you need to create the environment where America can flourish. It's not going to happen out of Washington, D.C. It's going to happen from us.
Now, I want one thing clearly understood. Before you leave this building, you must pick up some campaign literature, contribution envelopes, and everyone must
Bumper
take
sticker.
it. And bumper
Bumper
sticker,
sticker.
and take a sign. Is that clear? Thank you for coming.
What are the poll numbers?
Poll numbers are all over the place. There's polls that show my opponent ahead. There's polls that show me ahead. What we know is this is the most competitive race in Oregon. Yeah, or congressional race. It's the most competitive congressional race in Oregon. It's going to be about turnout. It goes back to the point. It's going to be about how many people did we call to get out the vote. So and this is the only swing district that Oregon has. So it's a great opportunity, but it's a great obligation. So it's not ours to lose, but it is ours to win. We just got to get it done.
Hey Scott,
Yeah,
I'd like to make a comment to everybody. I worked a Republican booth during the state fair, and some people came there and they said, what can we do? They felt kind of downtrodden, And I said, I want you to think about something, The Republicans need 2 votes, and you're the 2 votes standing there. I said, so everybody has to vote. And don't think about that your vote doesn't count, because it does count. So you gotta vote. You gotta get everybody, your neighbors voting. I mean, I'm doing everything I can to get everybody to vote. That's what we all need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vote, get your neighbors to vote.
And if I could say one other thing, I was talking to Scott last night about this. Just a few weeks ago, we got a exchange student living with us for a year from Beijing, China. And he got just a beautiful letter just the other day from his mother. And and think about this, a 15-year-old boy, they only have 1 child, And she sent him to America and prayed that he would be with a good family because she wants him to get the best education in the world and to learn from an American family. This is Beijing, China. We can't lose what America is all about. We cannot lose that. And that's why I'm supporting Scott and all the other Republicans, because we have to do this. We have to do this.
Thank you, Fred. Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it. Have a great night.
Besides
Thank you,
your sign, take it,